Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf News, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Greetings, everyone, and greetings to everybody that joined us live in the chat room. Thanks.
Yes, I'm sure you'd love to have a little blood snack in between.
That's right.
All
Fresh
right.
victims.
Fresh victims. And we'll begin with our game news, if we had any. All we have is a Chronicle entry, and what's in the Chronicle?
Well, the Shady Rogues are a new group of people that are playing DDO and putting the playthrough videos up on YouTube. So you want to go check them out. I watched a little bit of the latest episode, and it's pretty entertaining. They look like a great group of people. So I look forward to seeing more of their videos, and that link, of course, is in this week's Chronicle. Also, Ginger Spice has a new video up, so you want to take a look at his latest video. He always does a great job at videos. And there's also, it's started out in the forums, and now it's turning out to be something pretty big. Micor DDO, I should say, is organizing a 10-week competition that's going to be held out in DDO, of course, and you can actually win prizes for this. It's pretty interesting. What he's doing is there's going to be 10 rounds, and there is going to be different quests that you do, and you get scored on how you do in the quest. And that's how the prizes will be handed out. Round 1 is a level 3 quest. Round 2 will be a level 5. And then it goes to 7, 9, 12, and then it goes all the way up to 20 for the round 10 quest. So that is something, and you can do it solo, group, or your guild. So it's pretty interesting, so you want to check that out. The solo winner, if you're the top score getter, will get 2,500 turbine points.
Is that for a single round or for the entire competition?
For the entire competition.
Okay.
And then the solo runner-up will get 1,550 turbine points. So quite the amount of turbine points up for grabs if you can run the quest the best. And this is going to start Sunday, May the 3rd. So this Sunday will be the first round competition, and it's going to go all the way. Actually, he doesn't say when it'll end. Looks like it's every other week after, so I guess you could figure it out. So 10 weeks from May 3rd will be the last one.
All right, so let's see. You get 10 points for everyone who completes on the lowest level achieved. That means that you're the lowest level character that completed it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I was reading through the forum thread, and that didn't make sense to me, so I was thinking about sending him a message and seeing if he wanted to either come on the show or write out a post or something for us that kind of explained this a little more, because I was a little confused at how this is working.
All right, it looks like the first round runs from 22nd of April through May 3rd, and that there's an overlap week in there, it looks like, so that you've have about 10 days in which to do these, 12 days?
Yeah, looks about 12 for most of them, I think.
All right then, but a new round starts each week, so therefore you want to be ready for that. All right, I'll have to see about that, get someone ready up and see how badly I can do.
You and me both. Also in the Chronicle, the High Lords of Malachar are a Sarlona guild, and they are hosting a Titan Awareness raid. So they're going to teach you how to do the Titan raid. And that was, looks like that, I'm sorry, I read that in the Chronicle wrong. That was on Saturday, but I do believe they do these almost every week or every other week. So you can click in the forum thread to find out more about their raid awareness, where they're teaching new people how to do raids. That's always a good thing. In the fan site section of the Chronicle, there was a lot of good fan site news. The Damsels had their latest episode of their audio version of their podcast, and in which they discuss their adventures in the Temple of Elemental Evil. So be sure to give that a listen. And DDO Gamer looked at the different sagas that we have in DDO, so go ahead and give his blog post a read. And DDO Cast had their review of the Temple of Elemental Evil and all of the Update 25 goodness in their latest episode, so give them a listen as well. And that's it for the Chronicle this week.
All right then. But the screenshot of the week looks like the front door of the. No, it looks like a different door of the Temple
Yeah,
of Elemental
I'm not
Evil.
sure where I haven't seen that door, unless it's one of the doors where you go into level 1, but I don't think it looks like that, so yeah. But that is definitely in the temple, though.
That's definitely in the Temple of Elemental Evil. There is absolutely no question about that.
I'm not sure the Temple of Elemental Evil is the best place to meditate, but to each their own, though.
Well, if that's an evil monk, then that would be a great place to meditate.
This is true. See, Pineleaf logic wins again.
Pineleaf logic wins again. And what about store logic? How's that win?
The code makes no logic again, but, that's just the store codes. The free sample of the week is a Lesser Slayer count boost, and that coupon code is BCSL4. BCSL4, and you get one of those per account. 20% off in the store. Cosmetic hats, helms, and headwear, cosmetic armors, jeweler's toolkits, and augments. All 20% off in the DDO store this week.
Sounds like to me it means boost count Slayer.
See, Pineleaf logic again. I did not even get that out of that code, but see? Oh, Pineleaf logic, what are you going to do?
Let's head into the site news where we have our screenshot of the week, where it looks like somebody has been leaving their hirelings to do the work while they collected the loot.
Yes, this comes to us from Edric, from Edric's blog, and he captioned this, "The Hireling versus Whisperdoom." So it looked like he was making his poor hireling kill Whisperdoom the spider. Why, as you said, he was just looting the treasure chest.
I'm surprised they allowed him to loot the chest during that fight.
I can see why you would want to loot and not fight, because maybe I've been known to do that from time to time. Just saying.
Well, yes, but sometimes if it's a red, they don't unlock the chest until you kill the boss.
See, this is true, yeah.
But apparently Whisper Doom does not fall under that.
And if
category.
You have a screenshot that you are particularly proud of and you would like us to feature it, you can send that to podcast@ddoplayers.com, and we will be happy to feature that on the site. And once again, we do feature these in the order in which they were received, so if you don't see yours right away, I will get to it, I promise.
Very well. Then let's go into News Beyond DDO, and we'll begin with Battle Bards. If you recall, we had a little interview with them last week, and we have a little extra news from them, Drac.
We do. We have some exclusive breaking news, actually.
Ooh.
There are no other blogs or podcasts that are reporting on this right now. We get to break the news before anybody reports about it. So I had a chance to sit down and talk with them again today. And let's hear what the major new announcement is from the Battle Bards folks. Hey everybody, it is Drac here from DDO Players, and I have with me Alex again from the Battle Bards Kickstarter. Hey Alex, how's it going?
It's going great.
And we are here tonight to break some news, I guess, right?
That's right.
This is pretty exciting. Alex, you want to go ahead and let our audience know what's going on with the Battle Bards Kickstarter?
Absolutely. So we have heard gamers. We have, with all the exposure we've gotten, we've been able to open a great dialogue with the gaming community. And we've heard you guys. So we're going to be dramatically shifting our model. We're going to be moving away from the subscription-based model, and we're going to become more of a kind of an e-commerce or more of like an iTunes-like platform, which allows gamers to cherry pick just exactly what they want to use in game. So, for those people who just perhaps didn't, were a little overwhelmed with all the audio that was being offered, or just had very specific tastes of how they consume audio at the gaming table, we're going to bring that out so we can kind of provide gamers exactly what they want when they want it.
That is awesome. I know you sent me a little email on this, and that's how I decided to go ahead and do a little interview here again with you. You are going to have to restart your Kickstarter, correct?
Yeah, so because of the fundamental changes of our funding goals now being lowered, which means we're just going to be fronting the cost for all the tools, the soundboard, the mixer, we just decided, look, let's get the Kickstarter folks to really focus on doing what we all really want to do. Increase this library with awesome new audio. So that's going to be the focus. We're going to go ahead and dip a little deeper. We're going to go ahead and pay for the development ourselves. ourselves. So that funding goal is going down, which is really something hard to do when the Kickstarter campaign is already live.
Right.
All the pledge tiers are being redone in order to support this new platform. So we tried to see if we can keep it within the scope of what we have now, but because it's such a fundamental change, we said, okay, let's put the brakes on now. Let's not wait until this ends. Let's go ahead and tell everyone that of what we're doing, and let's relaunch this thing.
Great. And can you kind of give us a little hint? I know the Kickstarter page is actually going to go up later tonight, but can you give our audience a hint of maybe what some of the new goals are going to be?
Yeah, so one of the main shifts that we're going to be doing is a lot more of the audio that we're going to be sourcing is going to be TBD, which means it's going to be backer decided. So even at the very get-go, I think we're going to have two pieces that are going to be up to vote. So that way we can bring on Kickstarter backers or interested gamers right on the ground floor on slugging it out for what audio is going to be sourced as soon as we get funded, which we're hoping is going to be fairly quick. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the major things is hopefully as we go from one stretch goal to another, more and more stuff is going to be TBD because we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you DDO player podcast guys. What is it that you want? What do you guys use? Tell us. And that's going to be what we're going to end up sourcing.
That's great. This sounds like it's going to be an even better tool than I think what it was going to be. So it sounds like you're really going to make it more player-driven. And, not like it wasn't player-driven before, but it sounds like now your goal is really going to be player-driven content.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the feedback that we got from people is like, and don't get me wrong. I mean, moving away from the subscription model was really difficult. I mean, Ken and I had a lot of late nights debating this, but the feedback that we got was really clear. It's just, it's really tough, especially in the gaming market, to really kind of ask people to, pay monthly despite having, 1,000, 10,000 tracks. It's just something that the gaming market is really kind of hard to warm up on. I mean, you kind of do it with Fantasy Grounds, with, back in the day with Dungeons and Dragons subscription models. But what it turns out is just people wanted to be able to cherry pick. If they're heavy sound effects users, they're like, let's just go ahead and buy, 50, 100, or however many sound effect tracks. If they really dig the music, let them just buy the music. So it's really more about freedom and flexibility. And what we're really excited about, too, is this provides us new ways to incentivize this top-tier talent that we're cultivating. And this really kind of allows them a lot more flexibility to continuously add to this library on their own volition. It will always be curated by us, but we want to make sure that we're maintaining the creme de la creme of gaming audio out there.
Right.
But this gives us a lot more tools to make sure that these national working talent have what they need to continuously add to this library. So it gives us a lot more tools in that respect as well.
And I know, again, and I'm not sure how much of this you want to answer now since you're technically not live yet.
All right, no worries.
I know you said that you were going to do just like on-demand pricing, basically, so you can buy what you want. Can you give us maybe a hint of what what kind of pricing structure you're looking at? Are you still in the process of trying to figure that out?
No, we kind of dialed it in, at least for right now. The goal was, especially for the Kickstarter folks, is we wanted to make sure that for the amount of money that they were going to ready to pledge for a subscription, they would be able to outright purchase basically the whole initial library anyways. So to start, we're looking somewhere around the range of about 20 to 30 cents per sound effect, and that's going to be based on its length. 40% for a voiceover or script, 60 cents for a soundscape, and about $1 for music. And that's how we're going to be starting this service off at the get-go.
Okay, that sounds pretty reasonable, actually. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
We will find out more when your Kickstarter page goes live, and that's going to be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time?
That's right. So we kind of have like a global, international release. Yeah, it's going to be it. So I'd really recommend getting in there soon. One of the great benefits also about going through this kind of more e-commerce model is a lot of the discounts we offer are now, real kind of cash money discounts. So I would really recommend you guys, if you want to get on this, get on it now because let's tease a little bit more out. Not only will you be able to buy some credits that you'll use to purchase audio for a discount, but at the right tier, get this. You ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
At the right tier, you will forever have a reduced rate to purchase audio on BattleBards for as long as you're alive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's not going to be an insignificant discount, by the way. So, we're working with some of the best talent out there, and they've been so supportive of this change. So you could imagine the last couple of days has really been just sending out, kind of the new pricing model and how we're going to be compensating talent. And they've just been so supportive. We feel confident that we could also pass this Kickstarter only permanent discount to people out there, just because the talent has been just so amazing.
Well, we will definitely be sure to put the link to that in the show notes for this episode. And I also plan on doing a post tonight when it goes live, and probably a more in-depth post tomorrow about the new pricing structures and everything that you guys are doing.
Awesome. Thanks so much for all your support.
So, thanks for letting us kind of break this news tonight, too. It's pretty sweet that we get to break some RPG game news. So.
Awesome. It's our pleasure. Glad to have you guys be on the vanguard there.
So we will, like I said, we will definitely put a link to your new Kickstarter, and I will probably go ahead and tweet that out as well, too, once the new page actually goes up. And Sweet. We hope everybody that's listening goes ahead and checks out the new Kickstarter and gets in on the ground floor, because it sounds like this is the time to get in now. It's new and exciting.
That's right. All
right. Thanks, Alex. Thank
you so much
joining again.
You got it.
All right. Thank you. And that is some interesting news to hear.
Yes, you probably didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so
that means they're going to have to overhaul their page in about an hour.
Yep. So yeah, we will definitely provide a link when their new Kickstarter goes live. And once again, big thanks to all the BattleBards guys for letting us kind of break that news. He emailed me that today. So good luck to them on their new Kickstarter. I will put a link out as soon as we get it.
And I will presume that their current one is going to be closing in about an hour also.
Yeah, if they haven't closed it already, it will be closed down. So
I just checked it. It's not closed yet.
Okay.
So it will be in an hour.
Yep, I'm assuming they'll close that pretty soon.
Very well. Then let's go into our rest of our News Beyond DDO, where we have the D&D alumni give and the elementary look at the plane.
Yes, if you ever wanted to know anything about the different planes in Dungeons & Dragons, this is the article that you want to read. It goes in depth on the full history of the planes from the very, very meager beginnings to what they're doing with it in the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And there was some stuff in here that I actually didn't even realize. So I learned some stuff reading this article. So go ahead and check that out.
Now, I presume that over time, some details have changed.
Yes, and they go into details on that, too, on how it originally was and what it is now, and how it kind of changed from, like, the 2nd edition going into 3rd edition, what they did to it in the edition that shall renamed unnamed, and then
yes.
the 5th edition.
All right. Now, I remember one time, I forgot the exact circumstances, but I was on a campaign where we were taken into the city of Brass.
Wow, your DM was just evil to you, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I forgot why we were in the city of Brass, but yes, the adventure was within... In fact, I believe that specific adventure was a special one. Was it our standard campaign? It was a short-term campaign that was done between parts of a campaign or something like that, and we were dealing a lot with outsiders, obviously, if we're going into the city of Brass. But yeah, that was a rather strange adventure, if I recall correctly. We also have a designer diary of the Temple of Elemental Evil board game.
Yes, the two main designers of the game put this up over on Board Game Geek. And I'm going to give the spoiler warning that I did in the post as well. If you are going to read this post and you're one to experience the story of the game firsthand through the game, do not read the post because it's very spoilerific. So you have been warned.
Yes, I sort of skimmed through it, trying to avoid the spoiler section as much as possible.
Yeah, I was trying to think of how we could talk about it too without being very, very spoilery. Basically, the game is going to be done in 3 different acts that you're going to play through. I'll just leave it at that. It does get more spoilery after that. You can get a shot at some of the tiles laid out too if you kind of want to see what the tiles are going to look like. I really like the tiles this time. I think they did a good job graphic-wise with it so far.
So far, all right.
And then I was very excited to see that the village of Hamlet will be included, and it's going to play a part.
Is that really? I thought that was supposed to be a city there. I thought the article said something about a city from the Forgotten Realms. Since the new ones.
There's a city there, but they also said Hamlet will be there as well. But I won't.
Okay.
I won't go into any more detail.
I didn't read it in too much detail, so
you apparently skipped that part to not get spoiled. So
yeah. I was trying to avoid spoilers at the time, so therefore. So we'll see how they manage to get Hamlet in there, despite the fact that Hamlet is on a completely different
it's those
world.
Those planes are tricky, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Then there's part 2 of it, where they kind of go into some more of the mechanics of the game, and once again, spoiler if you don't want to see some of the new spells and stuff like that that's in the game. But it looks like it looks similar to how the other board games are set up. There's a couple different things you can do mechanic-wise that they're adding in that they do talk about. And one of the monsters they did show off is a doppelganger. So
yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
That's a rather strange monster, and I read how they had to. Well, the mechanic seems a little bit strange if you are running it solo. It's like anything to do with the doppelganger will look strange if you're running solo in any case.
And he did say he did go on to say that you were going to find a lot of humor in this, because the designer says a major underestimated element of D&D is humor. From weird bickering cultists to Miznak and Boo and Baldur's Gate, humor breaks monotony and shines like a beacon in the bleakest of stories. And in my article, I said, I'm glad that they're going to include this, because I know with my group of friends that I always play D&D with, we always crack ourselves up, and some of the times it's very hard to actually get any play in because people are making jokes and we're just cutting it up. So I'm glad to see that the designers are going to add some humor in here. And it sounds like some of it is going to be little underlying stuff that it might go over your head if you're not paying attention, but then you're going to get it and you're going to go, oh yeah. So look for that as you're going through the Temple of Elemental Evil board game, which is due to release in just a few days. April 29th is the ship date for it, and I did check before the show, and Amazon is still listing it as April 29th. Because I know the ship date has been changed a couple times because they were running into some shipping issues from China and customs, but it looks like everything's worked out. So if you have it pre-ordered, it should be shipping on the 29th.
We shall see. All right, let's go into our week in DDO. What did you do this week?
The Temple. Lots and lots of Temple. Still running my rogue through there, my level 13. I'm doing it on hard, so it's like level 9. So yeah, I'm a little under-leveled for it. But basically, I'm just doing it because I'm trying to get the drops. And still not getting anything out of those chests. So either the RNG is eluding me still, or the drop rates for those are insanely low. I haven't decided which yet. I'm leaning more towards the RNG, but I don't know.
All right, then. And we didn't have our usual playthrough together because my modem died just before then, and I had not yet diagnosed that it was my modem at the time we had our regular play session.
Yeah, that was handy because I kept waiting and you weren't online, and I sent you a message that said I was going to be late, and then you're like, well, I have no internet, so I'm like, well, hey, it worked out good then. So yeah. I just ended up running the temple a couple times that night then.
All right, then. Now, as for me, I did not get any playtime through in DDO because this was a week where I'm usually finishing up on my hardcore one since I wasn't doing a hardcore character this month, and I decided that trying to run the temple at level with a wizard.
Are you saying you're going to be a little too squishy to run it on level? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was a little bit. Level 2 rogue, level 5 wizard, quite squishy. I could tell you that.
Yeah,
especially on level. it's amazing how far I managed to get into it. Okay, I did get killed a few times in there, but I managed to get down until I get past the Earth Temple and to the point where we face the other temples, and then I started getting. I'm sorry, this is it. I'll have to decide what I'm going to do after that. But this week I will be starting to roll up my character for the next step in the hardcore series. So I'll see how well. Oh, that's right, permadeath. That's the term they use here in the permadeath group to see whether or not I can survive with another character class. First, I got to remember what character class I'm supposed to be doing this week.
I was about to ask, are you still doing the dice roll to do that, or did you already determine the order you're going to go in, or?
I believe I'm doing this in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Which I think the druid is up next, but I'll have to, because I believe the last time I was doing the cleric.
Yes, I think that was the last one that you did.
Right, so the druid would be next most likely. I'll double check to make sure I've got my alphabetical order right.
So we can take our bets now to where you're going to die first with the druid then. So
it can't. Oh, when I'm going to die first?
That's right. Which quest will Pineleaf die on? Leave your comments in the post on this show, and we'll see who is right.
How many? And I wonder how many people are going to vote for Misery's Peak.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't die at Misery's Peak.
Right. All right then. As for what I did do a run of Castle Ravenloft, the board game, and I was doing the Destroy the Dracolich, or the Destroy the Dracolich quest, and that particular quest, I think I did a little bit better than I thought I was going to do, though I didn't finish it, mainly because things got a little bit crazy, and I think I took a rather bad strategic path in there because I managed to bring up the Dracolich and pull up an encounter at the same time that dumped a gargoyle right in my square. So I was trying to avoid the gargoyle because I can't one-shot a gargoyle because all of my powers that allow me to do more than 1 point damage are against undead, and gargoyles aren't undead. So therefore, I was trying to move away from the gargoyle, get out of its square, and in fact, where the laboratory was, I was able to get there in 2 turns and destroy the phylactery. So I managed to do that fairly quickly, but I only managed to get 4 more points against the Dracolich after that because due to bad rolls and trying to avoid the gargoyle and all that stuff. And since I wasn't killing anything, or hurting anything, I wasn't able to get back hit points, so it didn't go all that well at the end there. Maybe I should have tried a different strategy. Oh, it also didn't help that if the dragon did a bite against me and pushed me back, it would have slowly been pushing me towards a crushing walls trap, which is like the worst trap in that game.
You just had some bad pulls all around.
Yeah, so I had some bad pulls, and so therefore things weren't going too well. The encounters were what were killing me in the end because I kept on getting some rather bad encounters, and I just didn't have enough monsters dead in order to take care of that. All right, then. We will then head into donations. If you would like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on DDO Players News, or even be able to be a guest host with us. We also did not receive any iTunes reviews and would love your support. We do have a featured comment, though. And that is Pax Terminus, who left us a comment on to subscribe or not to subscribe. And Jirak, what did he say?
He goes in to say it all depends on how much you play the game, really. If you are a committed daily team player, VIP is the way to go. If you're a guy like me who can only play 1 or 2 evenings per week and is otherwise a long-term player because he enjoys the game, but has a busy real life, you were better off spending that $99 on turbine points that will last you, say, 2 or 3 years. On top of that, I frequently play solo because, let's face it, a lot of people who treat DDO like it was their only life goal are feel an urge to keep up is not that much fun to begin with. Those are the people who constantly are pestering you about, dude, it's so much fun being a Warforged favorite soul. Or, dude, I will kick you out because your character is not min-maxed enough and not fitting one of the approved builds.
Well, yes, I could tell you that if you had to be on an improved build with a min-max character, I'd be the first one kicked out.
Me too. Me too. So yeah, and like I said, I think a couple of episodes back, just enjoy it. It's a game, don't take it too seriously. I mean, it's just a game. And that's how Pineleaf and I play, and that's kind of how, as you can tell by listening to this podcast, we're not min-maxers by any stretch of the means or imagination. And there's a lot of the game we haven't even seen yet, so
And probably will never even see because we don't have the powerful enough build to do
but
so.
And I'm not, I don't want to start like a flame war, and I'm sure I'm gonna get people leaving comments. It's like, well, you're just a noob and blah. If that's the way you want to play, that's cool. That's good for you. That's your play style. Yeah. That's not my play style, and that's apparently not Pax Termis's play style. So for him, just buying the content that he needs works for him, and that's great.
I know what you mean there. And in case anyone says it's just because we're noobs or something like this, I should tell you that I've been playing Lotro for almost 8 years now, and I can tell you that I play that on a casual level also. I do not min-max at all. When I do a YouTube thing on that, someone says, well, why aren't you doing this? This is more powerful or something like that. Because I don't want to do it. It doesn't feel what I want to do with this character.
That's right.
And I've been playing that game for 8 years, and so I'm not a noob in that game.
And and that's what's just great about MMOs in general, I think, is they're open for lots of different play styles. You can play casually, or you can play, like in a hardcore min-max mode if you want, or you can just, enjoy it and play it and try to build your character the way you want to play it and just have fun with it. Because after all, it is a game.
Indrik answered our plea for an email and sent us one. Hey, Draculetta and Pineleaf. Indrik here, just wishing to say hi. How are you doing? I heard from episode 28 that you guys didn't receive any email, so I wanted to drop you a line. I always have to download and listen to the podcast on Wednesdays because I'm generally getting ready to play PNP on a digital platform on Monday night when you guys air your show live. Speaking of playing PNP through the digital medium, I remember Draculetta mentioning doing with a software program that escapes me at the moment. I just wanted to let you know that my friends and I use a free software program called MapTool to move our characters across a digitized map. We also use Skype to talk. MapTool allows you to do a variety of things, including developing various forms of shading and other mechanics. It does have some quirk with it, but the fact that the software is free makes up for that. In any case, give it a look. You can find it at rptools.net. Now back to DDO. I was looking through the loot items available from the Temple of Elemental Evil, and I would really like to see that quarterstaff for my thief acrobat. Now I will definitely have to plunge in there and see what I can find. As always, excellent job on the podcast. Later, your resident stalker, Indrik.
And good luck getting the RNG gods to shine upon you to get that quarterstaff. I wish you luck on your quest, sir.
Oh, yes. If you would like to be like Indrik and send us an email, you could send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDOPlayers, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles. The Players Alliance has 3 live shows every week. On Mondays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. On Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Guild Wars Players News. And on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News. And join us for our live shows by going to ddoplayers.com/live. That is all for this week. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to loot those treasure chests.